And, you know, 5 minutes ago, I was going off on a rant about the system working the way it's supposed to be doing and screwing people in poor communities. But there's also a system that works the way it's supposed to do that's screwing everybody in America in the name of corporate profits. In fact, there's a bunch of them. There's one in the banking industry. There's one in the media industry. There's one in the food industry, which is what I'm going to talk about. There's one in the retail industry. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. You know, to try to start a small business these days and compete with, you know, in this day of post-Reaganism, corporate monopolies and whatnot. So, you know, at the risk of sounding too upscale, I hearken back to the vacation that Louise and I took this year. We actually took a vacation this year. We took a week off, and we went with our daughter and her boyfriend, who is his first language is French, and we went to France for a week and traveled around the country, and it was great. And it was sort of like, I don't think he was using Airbnb, but we were staying in like little houses, homes all over the country. It was amazing. And Louise and I would walk into shops and little, you know, like little corner grocery shops that are all locally owned. They don't have, at least I didn't see big chains like, you know, 7-Eleven kind of thing. I don't know what the French are doing to keep their small businesses intact, but they're doing it successfully. And you would see eggs on the counter, not being refrigerated. Now, wait a minute, Americans say, not refrigerating eggs? You can't do that. You'll die from salmonella. There's a fascinating piece over at the takepart.com website, takepart.com. The headline, should you refrigerate your eggs? Here's the final answer. And Christina Bravo, assistant editor at Take Part, writes, walk into a British supermarket and you may be surprised, even horrified by what you'll see. Cartons of eggs sitting next to canned meat and baked beans at room temperature. Europeans don't refrigerate their eggs, but Americans need to. Why? In a word, salmonella. Salmonella makes 1.2 million Americans sick every year. Chickens get it, and they literally pass it into their eggs. So when the egg comes out of the chicken, if the chicken was infected, the yolk actually has salmonella in it. And in some cases, the shell has salmonella as well. And that's why, I mean, I remember as a kid growing up, you know, my dad used to like to put raw eggs into eggnogs and things. Well, we used to make eggnog with raw eggs. You can't do that anymore in the United States because of salmonella. Now, why is it that you can do that in Europe? Why is it that they don't have to refrigerate them? Well, it turns out, starting in 1998, they started vaccinating, not loading with antibiotics, one shot of vaccine, vaccinating their chickens against salmonella. England and Wales recorded 14,000 cases of salmonella in 1997, the year before farmers started vaccinating their hens. In 2009, 581 cases. We pretty much eliminated salmonella, says the British Egg Information Service Director.
You're listening to the Thom Hartmann Program. Call 202-808-9925.
So why is it 1.2 million of us get sick and nobody does in Europe? Because the big food industry wants to save the cost of vaccines. They don't care if we have to pay the cost of getting sick.